I remember the first time I heard my daughter Zoe proclaim so boldly, "My mum is a Navy SEAL." The laughter that erupted from her classmates felt like daggers aimed at a truth they couldn't see. There I was, Amara Lewis, standing in the back of the room, a mix of pride and shame brewing in my chest. As much as I'd like to think I wore my military past like a badge of honor, the truth was far more complicated. To them, I was just another mum full of ordinary hopes and struggles. But the reality was, I had fought battles they'd never understand, both on the battlefield and right here at home, where my toughest fight was raising Zoe alone. But in that moment, Zoe's courage sparked something deep within me, despite the irony of their disbelief. You see, being a Navy SEAL isn't just a title. It's a promise, a vow to stand tall even when the world seems hell-bent on tearing you down. Yet life doesn't prepare you for the day someone accuses you of stealing the very valor you fought for. As Zoe faced ridicule and disbelief from teachers, even the principal, I sat there thinking, how could anyone doubt my service? And just like that, our lives spiraled into chaos. The truth lurking beneath our ordinary existence was about to be exposed, pulling us into a legal battle that would test not only our resolve, but also challenge everything we believed about integrity, family, and the power of standing up for what's right. I didn't see it coming. The betrayal came from everywhere, people I trusted, colleagues I thought understood me. Just a tough conversation, they had said, as if the words were any less toxic, any less corrosive. My heart raced when the news broke through the office chatter, like a gunshot in a quiet room. Amara Lewis, stolen valor. It echoed inside me, a visceral punch to the gut. I remember standing there, the piercing looks from co-workers. It felt like the walls were closing in. "You can't be serious," I muttered under my breath, staring at the floor, as if it held the truth buried deep beneath its surface. How could they not see? You don't know her, she's a warrior, you just don't understand. But their laughter was relentless, a cocktail of disbelief and judgment. Days became weeks filled with whispers. Is she even a SEAL and just another fraud? I couldn't shake that anger. It boiled over at night, painful and raw, clawing through my thoughts like an unwelcome parasite. Then came Officer Brent Carter, his badge gleaming as he laid the charges thick. "Why don't you just confess, save us all the trouble," he sneered, not even bothering to look me in the eye. The nerve, the audacity. I clenched my fists, wanting to scream, wanting to shake the truth into him. Instead, I found myself only trembling in disbelief. In that moment, watching the mockery unfold, I felt it, the weight of the betrayal. My heart ached for the woman who had laid her life on the line, for the mother who fought for us both, now left to face a storm of lies alone. This wasn't just about pride. This was about everything. I refused to accept their narrative. There was more to this story, and I was ready to fight. For her. For us. It's a strange thing watching the walls close in around you. For Amara Lewis, the world went from being a quiet battlefield to an all-out war zone practically overnight. One moment she was just a single mother, trying to do right by her daughter, and the next she was thrust into the spotlight of a national scandal. Who knew being a hero could come with such a hefty price tag? It started with that day, the day Officer Brent Carter decided he was judge and jury. Under the glare of flashing cameras and sneering journalists, Amara was accused of stolen valor. Because of course we all know that the only way to prove your worth is through public shaming, right? Meanwhile, Zoe watched it all unfold from the sidelines, like a horror movie she didn't want to see but couldn't look away from. You could practically hear her heart shattering into a million tiny pieces. Public opinion. Let's just say it wouldn't get a 5-star rating. Social media became this ruthless arena where people doubled down on their skepticism. Amara, the Navy SEAL. More like Amara, the crazy lady. You could almost hear the collective eye roll from the digital crowds, and there was Zoe, defiant and determined, shouting into the void. "You're wrong. My mum is a fighter. God bless her. But rallying behind truth doesn't always come with applause." But amidst the sea of doubt, there were glimmers of hope. A text here, a supportive comment there. Determination, though often flickering like a dying flame, refused to be snuffed out entirely. There was something beautiful, if painful, about Zoe's fierce loyalty and Amara's quiet resilience. It was like watching a storm build before the break of dawn, where sometimes, just sometimes, it takes the thunder before the light shines through. So yeah, things got worse. They could hardly get worse until they did. But isn't that just life? It's a wild ride filled with sharp turns and unexpected potholes. Yet all it takes is one moment, one brave decision to turn the tide. And as the situation spiraled, so did the resolve to fight back with every ounce of integrity and heart left in them. As the world seems to close and one voice rises amidst the chaos. "Mom, please. You have to fight." Zoe's words echo sharp and pleading. Amara sits on their worn couch shoulders, hunched, a battlefield of shame and guilt painted across her face. The walls of their small home feel like they're closing in. Outside, the world roars with judgment. But then a flicker, a distant memory. Her team, the brothers and sisters forged in the fires of war, wouldn't abandon her. Perhaps it wasn't just about her anymore. Zoe, driven by love and fury, picks up the phone. "I won't let them do this to you," she declares, her determination brighter than the shadows closing in around them. And as the dial connects, Amara's heart pounds. Anger fights against despair. The waiting feels eternal, but seconds stretch, filling with potential. Then the call comes through. Voices on the other end, familiar. A promise to stand by her, to fight alongside her. Amara breathes deeply. A fire begins to awaken within her, igniting memories of all she endured, of sweat grit and a purpose greater than herself. "It's not over," she whispers, her eyes meeting Zoe's. A spark lights between them, a shared resolve, a refusal to be silenced. Moments later, they're surrounded. Faces of comrades from years past flood into their small living room. Each silhouette a reminder of the strength that has always been there. "I won't go quietly," Amara declares, rising. And in that moment, the world outside can keep its scorn. Zoe stands tall beside her mother, a pillar of support. Together, they'll face the storm. This fight, they're ready, unbroken, unstoppable. And the flame that started as a flicker, it's roaring now. As the courtroom swelled with tension, Amara sat at the defendant's table, flanked by her former team members, all clad in crisp military uniforms. The murmurs of the gallery faded as the judge called the court to order, but the weight of every eye in the room bore down on her, some filled with skepticism, others with hesitant hope. Zoe perched on the edge of her seat, held her breath. Heart racing, she peeked at her mother. There was no strength without vulnerability, and in that moment Amara's resolve was palpable. The quiet strength radiating from her like the sun breaking through a storm. A hush fell as evidence was presented, each piece a brick in the wall that would pave the way to Amara's redemption. Zoe watched as the commanding officer stepped forward, his voice resolute as he recounted the harsh truths of service and sacrifice, confirming the stories Amara had always shared with her daughter. The words hung in the air like a banner of truth unfurling before the incredulous eyes of Officer Carter, who stood across the room visibly shaken. Then the moment arrived, confrontation. Amara faced Officer Carter with an unwavering gaze, a mix of vulnerability and defiance shining through. "You judged me without knowing my story," she spoke, her voice steady. "What I earned was not given. It was fought for with blood and sweat." Silence enveloped them. His face dropped, expression shifting to that of recognition, even remorse. The gavel struck. With a single word, the charges were dismissed. Zoe erupted into applause, tears flowing freely down her cheeks as the room ignited with cheers. She rushed to her mother, wrapping her arms around her in a fierce embrace as Amara smiled through her own misty eyes, an understanding reflecting the journey they had traversed together. But even in triumph, Amara knew that the scars remained. They were reminders of battles fought, lessons learned. In this moment of victory, those scars felt less burdensome. They were badges of honor, proving that success doesn't erase the past. It simply makes everything worth it. The journey wasn't over. They would carry these memories forward, resilient amidst the shadows, united not just by blood, but by the truth they had fought so hard to protect. As we reflect on this journey alongside Amara and Zoe, we realize that their story transcends the impact of a simple legal battle. It unfolds a deeper narrative about the nature of power and the fragility of trust. Amara's strength shone brightest not in her military accolades, but in the quiet resilience she cultivated in her daughter Zoe. Through adversity, they learned that power isn't just about might. It's about standing up for what is true, even in the face of unjust ridicule. Yet this brings us to a moral conundrum. Is revenge ever truly a form of justice? In a world quick to celebrate vindication, we must ask ourselves whether the desire for retribution serves the greater good or further fuels a cycle of anger and division. For some, the outcomes of Amara's fight are a triumphant victory. For others, there remains an uncomfortable aftertaste of revenge lurking beneath the surface. The choice to confront lies, to expose the heart of prejudice, speaks volumes about human character and integrity. But at what cost Zoe embraced her truth in a society that was quick to discount her brave declaration? As you ponder these questions, consider this. Does standing resolutely for truth foster justice? Or does it sow seeds of discord? What would you choose in the face of betrayal? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. And let's spark a dialogue that dives into the heart of what it means to fight for our truths. Ultimately, every stone we cast into the ocean carries a ripple of hope. What will your stone say?